Hello and welcome to the Gorgeous Goddess YouTube channel. So this video is about forgiveness, and this video is my offering to you to allow you to forgive yourself for anything that you are holding on to. Excuse my voice, it's a little bit croaky. I'm actually doing a lot of healing at the moment, and in the middle of all this big healing, this massive wave of forgiveness came through. And I just got the kind of thought popped into my head that this is something that I need to continue in a video because it might help other people to forgive themselves. So maybe just take in this message, and I will be channeling forgiveness to you. And I think this is going to come as words of forgiveness directed to you. But what you want to do is, see, the divine doesn't need to forgive you. I've got a video about this. So I think it's called Forgiveness, I think. And, God doesn't need to forgive you anything because God hasn't held anything against you that you've done. God loves you just as much as ever. So it's not divine forgiveness or God's forgiveness that you need. Really, it's forgiveness of yourself that you need. And sometimes it can help you to feel like God is forgiving you, to then take that step and actually allow yourself to forgive yourself. But really, primarily, all that is ever going on is you are forgiving yourself. And it's really time to do that, because all of us have suffered enough now, and there's nothing that we need to hold against ourselves any further. So just give me a moment and I'll see if I can go back to what was going on with forgiveness and speaking forgiveness out there. You are completely forgiven. You are completely forgiven for everything you have ever done. Any pain you've caused, any hurt you've occasioned, you are now forgiven. It's okay that those things came through you and caused that impact. Nothing you could have done here is permanent. All of it will be undone by the grace of the divine. The most important thing you can do now is let go and forgive yourself. You are so, so loved. Despite anything that you've ever done, you are so, so loved. You don't have to hold anything against yourself any longer. You don't have to hurt yourself any longer. You don't have to feel ashamed any longer. You don't have to hold on to any pain, and you don't have to subject yourself to any pain any longer. Anything that you've ever done that has hurt another being was done out of ignorance. And it wasn't really you. And it's not held against you in any way. We knew when we were coming here that in this environment we were going to forget our divine identity, when we were going to experience the lower vibrations, and we knew we would sometimes react. We knew that before we mastered the vibration of love, we may experience the vibration of resentment and hatred and aggression, and we knew we might get caught up in it. We knew we might express impurely and imperfectly. We knew this was part of the plan. But part of the plan was also letting go of all of it and realizing that is not who we are. And anything you did out of those lower vibrations has nothing to say about who you really are. So why would you keep punishing yourself for it? Any impact you had on another was part of that other's growth. They are big enough and strong enough to overcome it. Any reaction anybody's had to what you've ever done was a reaction that they chose with their own free will. You do not need to be feel responsible for what they did internally within their being. You are forgiven. It's time to forgive yourself. You have suffered enough for these perceived wrongs that you have done. It is enough suffering. You have paid this back over and over again many, many times. You have given far more than what you took, and it's time to let it go now. It's time to stop denying yourself. It's time to let go of that sense of shame, the sense that you are not divine, that you are not worthy, the sense that you're a sinner. It's time to let all of that go now. You are so deeply loved. Your presence on this earth is so appreciated. The beauty of your soul more than outweighs anything, any ugliness that you might have while you were blinded by illusions, that you could have impacted the world by. The beauty of your soul could just, in one giant flash, just wipe everything away. And it's okay now for you to connect in with the beauty inside your being. And you no longer have to hold as a truth this lie of your ugliness. And it doesn't matter what you have done in this or any other lifetime. It is all a lie. You are forgiven. You are loved. It's okay to forgive yourself. You are adored. It's okay to love and adore yourself now. You are forgiven before you even took the next breath after anything that you've done. And just like a mother loves its child, even when that child acts out or hits another child or paints the walls, she knows that that child is just immature. She never holds the fact that that child has, drawn on her walls to mean that child's growing up into a graffiti artist. She doesn't hold that child to their actions at any particular level of development. So why are you holding yourself to actions you chose when you were blinded, when you were bound by lower energies, when you had less mastery, when you were less masterful at this world, when you didn't really know what was going on, you hadn't experienced a lot? Why would you ever hold yourself down there? The truth is that you have let go of those illusions a long time ago, the illusions of hating other people, and all of those vibrations out of which you hurt others. You've let them go. But what you haven't let go of is a sense of shame, a sense that you are lower. You haven't had the courage to let that go, and now it is time to let that go. It's time to allow yourself to see your beauty. It is an allowing. It's time to allow yourself to not listen to those parts of your ego that scare you into thinking that you are unworthy. You do need a little bit of courage to do this. You can sometimes be scared that you are really unworthy, and that letting go of unworthiness might cause you to think more of yourself than what you are. But that's all a lie. You just need the courage to let that go. Because wherever you're not, you are withholding your light from this world. And that is a great disservice, because you are so beautiful that it's like there's a light missing there's a star missing from the heavens. There's a spot missing from the tapestry of life. So don't be missing. Take your place. You are beautiful beyond what you can even imagine. And when you've experienced yourself as all these lower energies, because there may be lots of lower energies trapped in your being, it can be very difficult to imagine how beautiful you really are. Even using your willpower and imagination, you may imagine yourself as just, if this is how small you feel, if this is how limited you feel, you may, at this point in life, be able to use your imagination and your willpower to imagine, and your courage to imagine yourself as this big and this beautiful. You know, the reality is that when God looks at you, God sees something so expansive, so beautiful, that would fill the entire universe. So this is beyond your current ability to imagine right now. But just know this. Take this into your knowledge bank, even if you can't experience it as a present reality. Because you never want to get stuck here. You need to keep going, keep growing, keep growing until you can experience the fullness of your being. So I'm letting you know that there's so much more beyond what you can even imagine. There's so much more beauty in you. There's so much more power in you. There's so much more beyond what you'll be able to imagine of yourself or feel in yourself next year. There's so much more, so don't stop. Keep forgiving everything in yourself. Keep letting everything go. And when you are working towards something like that your beauty fills the entire universe, when you're working towards something like that you cannot feel internally as a truth yet, it's a great idea, but it's not something that you can at the core of yourself accept. Or maybe the very, very core of yourself, it's in there, right? But just maybe the core of what you experience as yourself at this moment, it's something that's very difficult to accept. And this is where the concept of faith comes in. Okay, so how do you keep growing if you experience yourself as this big right now? You can imagine maybe that you're this big and beautiful and powerful. And how do you keep growing towards this as an expression of yourself? Well, you use faith. You take this image and you have faith that that is where you are going. Okay, and then as you take more and more steps, you will get the internal experience. But before you've got the internal experience, you have to use faith. And this is why faith is such an important part of many spiritual traditions. See, once you've let go of all of the garbage in your being, once you process it all out, and look, this could take a long time because it's taken lifetimes for you to pollute yourself to the state where you feel the way that you do right now. And maybe pollute is, well, that was a bit of a yucky word, wasn't it? Didn't mean to bring any shame on you, but it took lifetimes of stumbling around this earth experience to accumulate the negative energy that is giving you your current experience. It's going to take some time to clear this out. And before you can experience your beauty, you need to use faith. This is why Jesus gave that concept of faith. Believe in him, because Jesus had the internal experience. And Jesus felt the internal connection between himself and the Heavenly Father, as Christians would refer to it. So he had that present experience, but he told others, have faith unto me, or something like that. It sounds like a Bible quote, doesn't it? Have faith unto me and all good things shall be added unto you. I don't know. This is why Jesus told us to have faith in him, because we couldn't have that own internal experience. So we needed to rely on his words as somebody that is there right now. So while you are traveling this journey, you might take you some time to clear this up. And the moments where it feels like you're never going to get there, or the moments when you look inside and you don't feel that perfection that you're wanting to feel, this is when you have to rely on faith and keep going and look for the next step and look for the next step and ask for the next step. And you ask and it shall always be given. So I think that's enough of a vibration or teaching or meditation. I wish you lots of joy, peace, and self-love.